we got an update on the Pac-12 versus Mountain West lawsuit. So the Mountain West was required to file a response to the Pac-12 in the lawsuit, and as expected, the Mountain West said that they don't think the lawsuit has any good standing. And some interesting things that came out of it was that they claimed that the Pac-12 signed contracts without the intent of following through on those contracts. So that'll be interesting to see where that one goes, because I feel like that one's a little bit new compared to what we've heard so far. But another interesting thing they were talking about was how the Pac-12 was colluding to be able to hurt the Mountain West and be able to take those teams, like even back, I think it was back in like 2023 when George Kliavkoff was the commissioner. So where that's going to be really interesting and might have some long-term ramifications is if this does go to court and the courts do find that there was some like colluding behind and talking about like taking some of the teams over from the Mountain West to the Pac-12, and the courts say that you can't do that, that would have some really big ramifications on realignment in the future with college football. Because going back throughout the history of college football from the beginning, there's been a lot of realignment that's been happening, and you don't see it where someone just like leaves a conference and it's like, okay, well, I hope someone picks me up. But they usually talk to the conference beforehand before they leave, and then they leave. And so like this happens like all the time. And so it'll be interesting to see where that ends up. I don't know if there really is much behind that, especially where there's a lot of precedent in the past, but you never know until it goes to court between the judges and if there's a jury and stuff like that. So that'll be interesting, especially if there's a statute of limitations on that, because say they do find something in there, could the Pac-12 turn around into like the Big Ten or the Big 12 on trying to tear them apart? Because there was definitely a lot more damage that happened there than between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. Because Mountain West is able to at least have a decent amount of members to stay, and they didn't have to backfill as much. Whereas the Pac-12, they put them in a really dire situation, and the remaining two teams either had to drop and lose a lot of money by joining the Mountain West, or try to rebuild it. But again, if you're going to rebuild it, then you're putting yourself in harm's way with those lawsuits and stuff like that. So that's something to look for long term, is to see how this affects conference realignment if it does go to court and they do define parameters on what can or can't happen in regards to like conference realignment and like antitrust issues and colluding and stuff like that. But if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to look into with this, let me know down in the comments, and I'll definitely look into this, and I'm going to keep you updated throughout this process as things happen.